We continue now at the top of Daf Kuf Samech Vav Amid Beis in Meseches Bava Basra. This is Bava Basra Daf 166b. On the previous summit, the Gemara brought a Mishnah in Krisus in which Rav Shimon ben Gamliel he issued a ruling in order to lower the price of birds for karbanos, and the Mishnah now concludes that's exactly what happened. V'amdu kinin bo bayom berivasayim, and so that day the bird nests, the price went down to rivasayim, which is a quarter dinar of silver. Essentially, Rav Shimon ben Gamliel's ruling had the intended effect. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. The Mishnah said, Kasav milmala v'chulu. Let's say there's a discrepancy between the top of the document and the bottom of the document, so we follow what is written on the bottom of the document. And the Mishnah then went on to say, if that's the case, why are we repeating things as the document goes on? The Mishnah explained that sometimes there might be something erased on the bottom, and we can learn from the top what was erased. And the Gemara says, Tanu Rabbanon, the rabbis taught, Yilmad hatachton min ha'elyon bios achas. If there's just one letter missing, one letter got erased at the bottom, so then you could fill it in based on what's written on the top. Avalo b'shtei osios, but if there are two letters missing from something on the bottom, that already you cannot learn from the top. And the Brisa gives an example, kagon chanon mechanani ve'onon me'anani. Let's say, for example, it says chanon on the bottom of the document, and the yud is erased, or let's say it says anon, and the yud is erased, so then already you can learn that it should have been, that the name of the party should have been Chanani, or it should have been Anani. And the Gemara continues, Maishna shtei osios delo. Now, what's the difference that by two letters we don't allow it? Dilma misarmi shem ben arba osios v'havale palge deshma. It must be that the reason is maybe the name of the person is four letters, and therefore if he's missing two letters, he's already missing half of the name. We don't want to fill in half the name already. But if so, osachas nami, the same issue should occur. Let's say one letter is missing. Dilma misarmi shem ben shtei osios. Sometimes it can happen that a name is just two letters. V'havale palge deshma. Now he's missing half of the name, and you can't miss it. You can't fill in half of the name based on the top of the document. And so the Gemara says, Ela shtei osios, rather when it's two letters, let's say two letters are missing, why can't that be filled in? Hainu time of the reason is that Dilma misarmi shem ben shalosh osios. The issue is sometimes you have a name that's three letters, v'havale ruba deshma, and therefore the concern is that's already the majority of the name that's missing, two letters out of three. That's why two letters are a problem. But if you have one letter missing, it can never be that the majority of the name is missing, maybe 50%, but 50% we will say is okay. And the Gemara continues, Amar Papa says, Pshitali, it is obvious to me, Seifel Milmal, if the document at the top, it says the word Seifel, which is a kind of a cup, maybe the document is saying that this kind of a cup is what is owed, the Kefel Milmata, and then at the bottom of the document it calls it a Kefel, which refers to a kind of a garment. So which one is it? Hakol holech achar hatachton. Obviously in that case, we would follow what's written at the bottom, and we would assume that it's some kind of a garment that is involved, that is being mentioned by this document. But boy, Rav Papa asks the following question. Kefel milmala, what if it's the other way around? What if it says kefel at the top of the document, v'seifel milmata, and then it says seifel at the bottom of the document? Now it's very easy for the word kefel to look like the word seifel if that bottom of the kuf gets erased. So what would we say over there? Michashinan lizuvov, over there, maybe we should be concerned that a fly landed on the word kefel at the bottom, and really the word should be kefel, and the reason why it says seifel at the bottom is because the fly caused a little of an erasure to the kuf. Oh, lower, maybe no. We say you have to follow what's on the bottom, and therefore you assume seifel. And the Gemara says teiku. The Gemara leaves that as a question. And the Gemara continues, Hahuda have a kasabei shisma of v'zuzah. There was a document and it said 600 and a zuz. But with regards to the 600, it didn't say what kind of denomination. Are we talking about zuzim, which are dinarim, or are we talking about some other denomination of coins? Shalcha Rav Shravya kame de Abaya. Rav Shravya, he sent this in front of Abaya, and he asked him as follows, Shisma istri v'zuzah. Does this mean 600 istri and a zuz? And istri is worth even more than a dinar. That's a high denomination of currency. Odilma shisma aprite v'zuz, or maybe it means 600 prutos and a zuz, and a pruta is a fraction of a zuz. And so the Gemara continues, Amar lei, Abaya responded to him, Dal prite, you can remove prutos from the suffix. It certainly does not mean a pruta. The lo chasvi b'shtara, because those would not be written in a document in such a fashion that you're going to write 600 prutos, because you would combine them into a denomination that was worth more. You wouldn't write 600 prutos in such a situation, so it certainly does not mean prutos, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Kuf Samech Zayin Amid Aleph.